salutations this morning. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of MMS. And in this episode, we're going to talk about 5G and how tech reviewers are weighing in on it. We're going to talk about my final thoughts of the Moto G6 Play, and then to top it off, a topic that was suggested by one of you. So let's just kick right into it because I don't want this video to be very long. 5G, what is it? Basically, in layman terms, 5G is faster data transfer speeds. And what baffles me is that a lot of reviewers are saying that they don't care for it. And I'm like, are you sure? Because we as tech reviewers have to be careful of what we say and what we put out there. Whether it's in a live broadcast, interacting with you guys one-on-one technically, or if it's on a video posted up by us. We have to be careful. Because the things that we say get used back against us if we contradict ourselves without admitting that we just contradicted ourselves. Like me personally, I like to watch every step that I take. If I say something and then my opinion changes later on, I will then mention when my opinions change of how I contradicted myself, only because I try to be as transparent with you guys as possible. I'm not perfect. I'm no genius. I don't know everything under the sun. What I know is what I know, and what I know is what I share. That's it. And so there's a lot of people that's like, 5G is not worth it. Why are we even upgrading to 5G? Well, let's just kind of put it in perspective when it comes to technology. 5G is important that it comes to the United States. It is. Because what we're not thinking of is we're thinking of our smartphone connection, our ability to connect to Facebook, our ability to connect to YouTube. What we're not thinking about is all our military systems that depend on internet and depend on data transfer speeds. If we stay on LTE while other countries progress towards 5G, we've just basically not only adopted but formatted and stayed on a system that would become obsolete. You're not wanting to send valuable information through the internet to a source for them to get it, and its transfer data rate speeds is 50 megabits per second, where like say Russia can send a file in seconds back home base and be able to plot out any type of military strategy. Like, these are the things that we don't think of. And so yes, 5G is important to come to the United States. We need it to come to the United States. China's already building out 5G, and that's why they have the race to 5G. We're trying to beat China to it because we want to be able to have first dibs on using that network to seeing how well it works, and not only just using it, but perfecting it over time. When 5G first releases, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be something that everyone is going to just immediately see, rainbows and stars and butterflies shoot out of their phone like immediately. It's not going to be anything like that. But being able to use augmented reality in a much faster frame rate, being able to, send data packets 10 gigabytes and be able to send it in 10 seconds. That's going to be crazy in itself. And for the military to be able to use that technology is going to be very beneficial that, we stay on top of things. So 5G is important that it needs to come. Now, the Moto Z3 basically has a mod that if you attach it to the Moto Z3, one of its Moto mods makes the phone capable to connect to 5G. So we're already at the dawn. The sun is about to rise on 5G. And yes, it may not be everywhere up front because that's how this thing works. It's rolled out in incremental areas in markets. Eventually, I'm predicting by 2022 or 2023 that we will see 5G basically everywhere. There'll be a lot of devices out that are 5G capable. So, with that, for me, I am saying, is 5G a necessity for me to have? No, it's not. But if I had a device that had 5G capabilities, am I going to out it? Am I going to just be like, no, I'm solely relying on LTE? No, of course I'm going to use 5G. It's faster data speeds. So you guys heard me say it. This is what I think about it. And that is, yes, we need to. We need to evolve. Our technology needs to keep moving so we can stay in advancement and not become obsolete. So next up, I want to talk about the Moto G6 Play and my final thoughts about the phone. And one thing that none of us really mentioned in our review videos that I don't think of, the Moto G6 Play compared to the Moto E4 Plus is not a major bump up. Yes, I've said it and multiple of my colleagues have said it. But the one thing we haven't said is that remove bring your own device supported devices, okay? We're just talking about devices that's sold through Boost Mobile. The Moto G6 Play is a major update. And you're probably asking yourself, to what device? And to what device that would be is its predecessor, the Moto G. And at the time, Boost Mobile sold the Moto G. I don't believe they sold any other version of the Moto G afterwards, but they sold the original Moto G. And believe it or not, there's someone out there that still uses the Moto G on Boost Mobile. And because of that very reason, the G6 Play is a major update from the Moto G. Because you also remember too, that we had the Moto E and the Moto E2 on Boost Mobile, and then came the Moto E4 and the Moto E4 Plus. So from the G series standpoint sold by Boost Mobile, the G6 Play is a major update from the Moto G. But it is not a major update if you own a Moto E4 Plus or even the E4. For the price point of what it is right now at $80 at Walmart, it's a bargain. It's a good deal to go and pick one up. Even if you have the Moto E4 Plus and you just want to give it a shot, now's your time to do it and go through Walmart. You can get it at $80. $129.99 is a fair price, I would say, if you go through boostmobile.com. Luckily, they didn't price it like at $179.99 or $149.99. That would be absolutely crazy. $129.99 is like the fair point that I would say. But even then, if you can get it for cheaper, definitely go for it. It's not a major update to the E4 Plus again, but it is a pretty good solid device in my opinion, for what you get for $80. So if you only spent $80 on this phone, you got your money's worth. And with software updates, of course, some of the issues that it has will be fixed. That's something that we can bet on. Yeah, so that is my final thoughts on the Moto G6 Play. Is it worth getting? Yeah, it's worth getting, right? Especially right now at Walmart. Last thing I want to talk about, which is a topic that was handed over from one of you to me, and I gotta thank you for sending me out this text this morning with the link to Ars Technica, and that's the Moto G series of 2018 and the Moto E series of 2018, only seeing one software update to 9.0, and that's it. And all I gotta say to that is that we bred this monster in OEMs, okay? We allowed OEMs to basically control that because they know they can't sell software updates to us. They can't. They can't just be like, yeah, buy the software update for your phone. So the only way they can do it is by building hardware and giving it the new software update. And it kind of works like how gas works, right? So just remember back in the day when gasoline used to cost $1.99 a gallon. And then it jumped up to $2.50 a gallon, right? You saw a big 50-cent difference in price hike with gasoline. And then afterwards, they lowered the price down to $2.19. And so like you got comfortable with $2.19 because it's less than $2.50, right? So it's cheaper. And it stayed at $2.19 for a good amount of time, just coasting along at $2.19. Then they raised it to $2.75 and you freaked out like, oh my gosh, gas is almost $3. And they kept it at $2.75 for a couple of months, then they dropped it to $2.45. Now $2.45 is cheaper than $2.75, so then you got okay with it. That's the same thing that happened with smartphones and OS updates, is that we used to see 3 incremental updates. Then it went down to 2. And 2 became sufficient because some devices only got 1 software update, so then 2 looked better. Now they dropped it down to 1. Because the Moto E4 and E4 Plus did not see an update to 8.0 Oreo, even though it could have. The Motorola didn't do it. But then with the G6 Play and the E5 Play, they're saying they're going to give 1 software update. Well, that seems better than none, so obviously people are going to be, happy with being able to get 9.0 on the G6 Play. And Motorola is not the only one that does it. Samsung, LG, HTC, they all do it. It's the hamster wheel game. It's how they make their money. So you gotta remember, they put these phones out, they sell them, right? They pocket the profits and they put the residuals back into investment on the next device they're gonna put out. And when that one sells and makes profit, that's where they make their money from, is profit. But they gotta sell product. And Apple is no different. So any Apple fanboy that's like, Apple doesn't do that. Yes, they did. They purposely slowed down their old iPhones, trying to push people because they technically backed themselves into a corner when they kept all their older devices updated to the latest device that had the latest version of iOS. They kept all their older devices updated, and that pretty much backed them into a corner because they needed to make sales. Well, how are you going to make sales if everyone's content with a product you built because you built it almost so good that they didn't feel the need to buy the new phone? Well, you purposely slow down that phone so then people will go out and buy the new phone. And that's what happened with Apple. So yes, they did the same thing. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this episode of MMS. And I know the sun is like beaming in now, so I kind of like lit up in glue here. Glowing. But anyways, yeah, that's it for this episode. Let me know your guys' thoughts on any of these subjects in the comment section of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like to let me know. If you just subscribed, I appreciate that. Hit the bell option to know when I upload a video, or that way. One of the ways. Bell option. But until then, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Tito. I'm out.